Okay, God, where are all of my notes? There we go.
In the folder you left them in.
Yeah, I'm not good at that. I did not put them in a folder. I have them scattered around my desk, and some of them I don't know what they mean. Like, what is Korg ear?
Cork ear.
That's
Clean brown?
that's
Like, I don't know what. Yeah, I don't know what most of these mean.
that's gonna be entertaining.
Omni's pretty good at winging it.
Oh, trust me, I know fully well.
I'm glad somebody thinks so.
But it's when Omni remembers what the note means, then it gets really hilarious.
Yeah, it's been several weeks. So, good morning, everybody. I am OmniRusted. I'm here with
Someone.
AndrewDan, Evie, who is streaming FantasticMuse, Frosty, and Daynar. Currently, Squishy is off for Thanksgiving stuff, so we will be continuing without him today. It's okay. He's not entirely needed for what we're going to do. It's probably going to be a reasonably short day. But welcome back to Kalgard Quests. Who wants to give the recap?
Not it.
It's Evie.
No, we'd have to trust in Evie's memory for that. That's not gonna happen.
Yeah, true.
I'll do it. So, y'all crashed my ship.
That was
didn't
the
do
bone worm. Bone worm tried to eat it. We saved it.
Y'all crashed
Pulling
my
music
shit.
in. Really quickly, I'm pulling music into the stream. Please remember to to lower Montaro to a reasonable volume. I don't think this is a very appropriate song.
No,
Hold on.
this is not recap song.
It really
Yes,
is.
it is. This is great. This is perfect.
What in the BBEG?
That would be Cat.
Let's try. Nope. Come on.
It sounds like boss
Close.
fighting music.
Okay.
There we go. Let's recap.
Alright, so y'all crashed my ship. We were floating in the middle of a lake. And we met a bard. And we got rescued by Wigglesworth's wife. And got thrown into dry dock in the Gnome City. And we were headed to go meet the leaders of the city?
I think we're stuck here. Like, we're stuck in dry dock. We can't leave.
We're basically limited to
I
the
asked-
trade quarter.
Right, I asked to meet the leaders of the city, and my status usually allows that, and my goal was to, like, start some diplomacy and stuff, and I think we had ended there.
So, to clear up any confusion, basically last time, you guys were pulled into the gnomish city of Delhas after your airship crashed down after a giant bone worm sort of ripped pieces of it off. One of those pieces happened to hold your monk, Aloprix Dawn Eyes. When you finally crash landed, you took a couple weeks, you took about a week to try and make repairs yourself, but were unable to get the ship back airborne. You were met up by a bard that had gone fishing by the name of the Great Gambini. I think that was his name.
It was.
Yeah.
Yep, the Great Gambini, who was a friend of Kragsgar back from the Temple of Bahamut up in Infalna, and shortly after that, when you all were sitting down to try and decide what you wanted to do next, since the death aura created by the giant death column was getting closer, and any time you would have to either get this thing airborne or choose to abandon the airship itself, you were actually rescued by the Windrunner, a gnomish air fleet, sort of very, very large airship, led by Captain Covencrest, who was married to Wigglesworth back in the day, before his obsession with this new style of airship, took over. She rescued you, actually towed your airship up into the air. Wigglesworth has pretty much been hiding in the old airship since then, and you have been towed over to Delhas, where you were asked to stay in the dry dock and merchant quarter while repairs were made. And when Nefer asked to meet with the local representatives, you were in fact surprised to find that some guards actually came up and said, "Hey, your presence has been requested." And currently, anybody who wants to come along is now being escorted to the Gnomish Delhas Council.
I'm going.
I'm going. I'm switching clothing.
I'm going
in my
because it's
armor,
boring to be on the
switching
ship.
clothing.
I'm in my fancy duds and got my
And
thematic.
I'm gonna be in my armor.
I'm just gonna be in my robes
Always.
because I mean normal clothing because I don't have anything else like armor wise.
You don't wear armor, Evie.
Yeah,
Don't
exactly.
worry
I'm
about
just
it.
gonna wear my robes and clothing.
No
wait,
trouble
Evie,
at all.
you have an entertainer's outfit.
No thanks. I'll just go in my regular clothes.
Isn't that a little
I
too
mean-
revealing for our kitsune?
Well, I don't know what kind of entertainer. Don't assume.
One would assume. One would.
Hey, if
I
I'm
mean,
if
I
I'm
don't
planning
think-
to serve chaos, I don't want to go in a attention-grabbing outfit.
Yeah, no, that's
Right.
fine. I was just like, I don't think Evie. What kind of entertainer were you? Evie?
I don't know.
Wasn't
Didn't you
she?
mention you were a
Kinda-
dancer? Yeah, dancer.
Evie, yeah, I think you were a dancer, but like, you really need to decide that.
I'll think about it later.
Okay. I think you did say you were a dancer at one point, but a dancer can cover a lot of different
Styles.
a lot of different things. Yeah, exactly. It's
I'll
not
talk-
necessarily an exotic dancer. Get your mind out of the gutter, AndrewDan.
Yeah.
So, the city of Delhas is enormous and built. You would think that it would be built inside the mountain itself because, nobody's really seen the actual Delhas city itself. It comes to as a surprise to you, it's actually built into this cleft in between two mountains itself, two very large mountains.
God, this music suddenly
with-
got loud.
Yeah, it got really loud all of a sudden. I'm gonna skip that one, actually. That got really loud. I'm not even gonna try and get this stuff to be thematic until I need it. The city of Delhas itself is, I don't have, like, a friggin', playlist for exactly what we want. Okay. In fact, let's do bump, dent, and dent. A little bit of background noise going. So the city of Delhas is built in sort of a valley kind of cleft. Anybody, which I don't think anybody actually has this knowledge. Oh my god.
Anyone with a history should know. Well,
Anybody with history or anybody with any kind of mining experience should know this is built between two active volcanoes. You can see this because the tops of the mountains themselves are smoking a little bit. Now, it's not uncontrolled smoking because there are giant sort of... Well, you can't really tell what they are. You're not an engineer. But I'm going to just let you know for the purposes of actually picturing this. They're giant kind of turny windmill kind of looking things that are actually rudimentary non-electronic geothermal
Turbines?
turbines. Yes, exactly. They're basically giant motors that are actually powered by the geothermal activity in the volcanoes themselves, which, anybody with engineering knowledge, this is huge and impressive. And usually people aren't allowed to see this, and it comes, in very much in the kind of behavior that the gnomes have of, what the fuck are they doing? This could explode any minute. Kind of ideal. There's no organization to the city. You are led in several different directions, and the guards seem to know where they're going, but, you take the weirdest twists and turns. At one point, you literally walk through somebody's workshop that seems like it was just built in the middle of a road for no reason, and nobody is batting an eye. Everybody's just used to this because it's weird, Everybody's just too concentrated on what they are currently doing, which is generally working on things. The amount of productivity, the amount of ingenuity that you see around you is staggering. You've got weird contraptions doing you don't even know what. You see something that looks like somebody mixed a mechanical chicken with a helmet, with a propeller, and they're just sort of walking along, and the mechanical wings are flapping, and it's not doing anything, but people are turning to look at this person going, that's fascinating.
Ew.
In fact, the guards even with you turn to look at this thing and go, oh, clever, yes. I don't know why they had that voice.
They're all old.
Victor's
That's
all
slightly
old. Victor's got a mixed look of appreciation on the defensive layout of the city and absolute pain.
Evie is fascinated by the chicken.
Layout of the city. In fact, looking at the guards themselves, you could see that their armor at one point might have tried to be functional. It lost that purpose a long time ago. Each person's outfit, whether a random person on the street or the guards in uniform with you, is individual pieces of whatever the fuck. You actually notice, a pot lid is attached to the right leg of one of the guards, and it clanks loudly every time he moves, because it's the size of a human pot lid on the size of a child's leg. They have no idea what they're doing militaristically, but they probably don't need to because nobody's gonna try and invade a volcano city. You see pipes and vents everywhere. Some have fans attached to them, some are smoking, some have blue or purple smoke coming out of them and you're not even sure why. There's a window open at one point that has this bright neon green light coming out of it in flashing off kilter and cackling coming out of it. Nobody bats an eye. And the weirdest thing is, along with the pipes, which they would, be pushing around geothermal power or vents or whatever kind of liquid, there's gears and cogs on everything. Most not attached to anything. You're not sure if it's functional or decorative. But some are turning, some are standing completely still, some are just hanging out in midair, doing nothing. You're pretty sure one is a weather vane, but all of them are just there. Hogs everywhere. Which I'm pretty sure if anybody's ever seen anything steampunk, you can picture what I'm talking about. In fact, I could probably just search, steampunk city on Google Images. Yup. Right away, something comes up that makes complete sense. Also, if you look up the staggering amount of airships of every shape and size. Have y'all seen Fifth Element?
Nope.
Yep.
Yes.
Yes.
We've established Evie needs more culture in their life.
Shush.
Oh wow, there's a perfect Minecraft city for this fun.
We in Minecraft, boys and girls.
I guess
I
Evie is not
literally
super
searched
green.
steampunk city. No, there's a lot of stuff that you just haven't seen. We just kind of get used to it.
We can fix that.
Well, it's also
Yeah,
a
we
whole
need to
thing
have
of
a several-day watch party is what we need.
things that we're used to. She may not necessarily be used to.
Yeah,
That's fair.
other country. It just happens. Okay, come on, upload. Like, I just found like the perfect example for this, and I'm trying to get it uploaded right now. There we go. And can I show to party? I cannot. I gotta make it to a handout. God damn it, Roll20. Add handout. Delhus. Come on. Roll20 being slow right now. There we go.
Oh, that's neat.
There is airships of every shape and size, some holding up platforms, some flying to and fro. There's like personal airships that are just traveling in odd directions that are manned by one person. But there's just an enormous amount of airships. And, well, nobody is an airship engineer here anymore, are they? Oh, shit. Anyway,
Wigglesworth.
y'all,
That's it.
Wigglesworth is not with you.
He's back on the airship.
They could not find him. He would be the only one that would recognize this, yeah. But basically, like, there's an odd thing you notice is the things that are powering them. Most are powered by actual foot. You see one that actually has like a mule in like a hamster wheel powering it and propelling it along, and it has a propeller behind it. There's a lot that are foot propelled, where people are just like on a little bicycle to make the rotors turn. There are some larger ones that look to be powered by steam. Yours was the only one that was powered by some sort of crystal, which was the innovation that Wigglesworth came with, you know? Finally, you are led to, well, I gotta say, I'm winging this right now, and I'm shocked that I'm doing so well right now. I'm pulling this all out of my ass. I did
You
not find
jinxed
any of
yourself.
this description.
Woo!
But it's taken like 10 minutes of description. I'm shocked that this is all just in my head. So after a long and winding road that takes you almost nowhere, you're led to the largest building, which in itself looks like a giant cog. And several different cogs stuck together, which it shocks you to find that yes, it's standing upright. The front door of it is standing upright. Or the front part of it is standing upright. This enormous cog about we'll say like 5 stories tall. It towers over you and definitely towers over the gnomes. And it's enormous cog, and you're shocked to see the cog itself is moving, but the part with the door in it is not. But the cog is still moving around the building itself somehow. And there are several cogs stacked together in random assortments in this one building. And yet it has an entrance. And that's a little unnerving, because you're being led into these large, enormous double doors. On each of the double doors is the symbol of the gnomish god, who I currently... Where is the spellbook? Pantheon. What the hell was his name again?
Erasmus.
It's the halfling god. Umos. That was it. Umos, the god of inspiration, is depicted on one side. The other side, it actually is Gothe Bronzemold, a female gnome. Also, basically, like, the gnomes are sort of an ancestor worship thing. They don't really believe in gods, but they still revere their ancestors. They do revest Umos, and they revere Gothe. And on each side is a large depiction of them, and their holy symbol behind them with rays of sun and different kinds of and like one of the mountains. You can see the silhouette of the mountains itself is on each side of this huge double door, and you realize that the mountains on either side of you, they are kind of depicted as those gods themselves. You're led into this place, and you can hear the movement of the cog around you. It's not deafening, but it is noticeable. This giant clunk, clunk, clunk every second, and it's on a 1 second timer. It's terrifying because some parts of the walls are still moving. You actually are forced to walk between two giant cogs that are attached, and you have to time yourself to get through these cogs. The guards and Captain Covencrest with you treat this as if this is normal, that you might be crushed to death at any second. But while you're moving through these enormous cogs that take up the entire hallway, through the small gaps between the teeth, there's like other gnomes, like children and like porters and stewards just running back and forth, running on their own errands like it's nothing. Until you're led to the actual the council room itself. So lure, 1 sec. I did not upload this one. Tiny says, Crazy Invention City doesn't care for OSHA regulations. No, if you get caught in between them, it's your own fault. So, every single gnome in here is just, there's old men, there's old women. All of them are dressed up in these elaborate costumes. Some are more technological with years, some seem to be more magical, and they've got these crystals on them everywhere, which you do recognize as the infused mana crystals that a lot of gnomes do use for their power. Which your airship had originally before you got that other giant crystal. The crystal that you throw in the river. You know, you recognize those in smaller versions without cracking it. The one that got you arrested in Tibermont. As you walk in, you the gnome guard with you wraps his staff against the floor and announces you all as the owner and crew of Dorfin Wigglesworth's airship, as requested. And an old gnome man that is sitting almost right in the center of these 13 gnomes, 13 of them with one in the center, looks at you finally looks at you and just says, "Welcome to our city. I understand that you wanted to speak with us, and well, we had some things to say to you."
Does he speak Gnomish or Common?
Common.
Okay.
So I'm going to bow slightly in like acknowledgement and, you know, say thank you for seeing.
Okay. Do you bend your waist at all?
No. Just slight.
Okay.
You know, respectful, but I'm not beneath you, you know.
He kind of scowls at you a little bit, and you hear some of the other counselors mutter to themselves. And to, people next to them.
Darn it.
Good to have made your acquaintance, fellow gnomes. I see your settlement is quite technologically advanced compared to other cities.
And Kragsgar are there to save you as they smile at him, and several of them nod respectfully towards Kragsgar. One of them actually leans forward a little bit as if he is going to explain something, and is like prostrating the council staff that he's holding, which is covered in, you're not sure what, there's propellers, there's cogs, there's something kind of making zapping sounds, but the other counselors like shush him.
I am eager to build.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was gonna say, we're eager to build relations between yourselves and ourselves, as we are crews of one of your vassals, and are honored that you are present here.
They sort of look to each other a little bit before the head gnome speaks again, saying, "That's not one of our vessels. Dorfin's, methods are leave a little bit to be desired on the side of shall we say, safety? You notice, as he says this, part of one side of his very impressive beard is actually burned off, and it looks recent. So, he's the one speaking about safety when it's clear, you know, he's got the general gnomish idea of safety, which is laughable to say the least. And he's saying that Dorfin, lacks the idea of safety.
Okay.
So, are you here? How exactly did your vessel come to such a state of disrepair as we've had it described to us?
We were in service to... Shoot, how do I describe it? The guard? Would that be the right way to say it?
Yeah.
Yeah, we were in service to the guard, exploring the circle of death surrounding the temples, and were attacked by creatures that damaged our vessel.
Really quick, not temples, they're just pillars.
I meant pillar, I don't know why I said temple.
Yeah.
But thank you.
As you say this, like, the muttering in, and they, when they mutter to each other, they do mutter in Gnomish. Does anybody here speak Gnomish?
No.
Nope.
Well, I picked up very basic, where's the bathroom, hello, all that. Like,
Yeah, but you wouldn't understand what they're saying to each other. They're muttering.
As a gnome, you would know Common and Gnomish. You would start with
She's a
knowing
halfling.
Oh, she's a halfling. My
There
apologies.
are no gnomes in this party.
We have three halflings.
Yeah, but unless you chose Gnomish as a language, you wouldn't know it.
I only know
So we
Sylvan
have-
and Common and
So
Abyssal.
we have 1.5 lings.
You stop that.
This is me that's
Nope.
talking, Omni.
No, you stop that. But basically, as you say, the pillars, several worried looks across a bunch of people's faces, and there's a lot of muttering in Gnomish to each other for a moment before the head gnome, who appears to be the head counselor or steward or something, you're not exactly sure, wraps his jewel-encrusted staff on the ground again, gets some order back. Everybody seems to settle themselves with still worried looks. And he goes, "You were investigating one of the pillars, right? Which one?"
The one located south of Tiber Mott,
Correct.
as it is a direct
The
threat
original.
to that city.
He says, the original. I see. That is worrisome, but that was the first one. We have been doing a little bit of work in the past few weeks since they showed up. We have calculated the rate of advancement of their, we'll call it a death aura, and we're not sure exactly, but they seem to be pulling bodies out of nowhere in order to make into these undead monstrosities that they are spawning. And he snaps his fingers a couple times, and a very harried-looking gnome steward runs out of a side room with a map, as you see here, of Kalgard itself. And you notice there's a lot more things on it than you were familiar with. I'm trying to find where... It's basically got the rest of the pillars that they have found with their airships on it. And I am unable to find the thing for that. So let's just copy and paste. Because from what he is able to show, there's a lot more that you didn't know of.
Well, I've run to each his own.
if they
It's a
have
lot of-
explored areas around these pillars.
God damn it, roll 20, come on. Sorry, I'm almost there.
No worries.
There we go.
At least Mepholm is safe.
Do you say that out loud, Evie?
No.
Okay. We have sent some exploratory teams to try and investigate the pillar that is north of us, clear between us and Bachholm. But if they get too close, they don't come back. For one reason or another, we've seen several wrecks of our airships that get too close to the pillars. It appears that if you get too close, you just die.
Have
and that
any
is,
of your
I
was gonna say, have any of your ships survived combat with creatures?
Several have been attacked, yes. Several of them are in the repair dock right now, which is why we were so generous in pulling your ship up, because your ship seemed to suffer very similar attacks from ours. These strange rotted creatures that fly in the sky and what looks almost like bones just floating on their own. And it's been terrifying. I'm doing several different voices. I'm sorry. I'm trying. I should be saying that I'm representing different gnomes that are speaking. It's not just one gnome that's speaking.
It's a high
all of my
mind.
original energy for talking.
It's a high mind. It's
We
all
would
of my original speaking for all of my original like innovative description speaking apparently is sucked up now, and I'm just done with. Anyway. Go ahead.
We would appreciate any information you have gathered about these attackers and the methods by which your ships have managed to survive, so that we can take this information with us back to others who... Where was I going with that? Back to others who could benefit from that information. There we go.
What kind of others?
The other kingdoms that should know of this threat, if they are not aware of it just yet. I think everyone should know.
Well, another very aged gnome speaks up. Well, you can see that they all seem to be close to, if not in between, different capital cities. I'm quite sure they're aware.
Yes, but it also looks like it's either an invasion or they're going to kill us all. If these death circles continue to expand without any counter, we're all dead.
If you know of a counter, we'd love to hear it. And I'm quite sure if you take our information to any of the other capital cities, they won't know what to do either. And if this, they kind of have a communal chortle of anybody trying to be as smart as they are.
Well, if you're so smart, haven't you figured it out yet?
A couple
Or
of
is
them
the
kind of
challenge-
grind their teeth.
Or is the
One
challenge
looks
too
embarrassed.
great for you?
I need you to make me a diplomacy check.
Nice.
Real quick, I want to reach back and like just hiddenly
No.
smack
That's
our
nope. This is happening.
Can I
You
aid
can't stop it
Victor?
now. Nope.
There is no diplomacy skill.
There is a persuasion.
Oh.
You just go for persuasion.
Yeah. Something. It's
Persuasion, deception, intimidation.
yeah. Go for persuasion. That'll be the closest.
Alright.
Nice.
Okay.
That's not bad. That's not bad at all.
Good first roll of the day. So, they seem to actually be a little bit cowed and embarrassed by what you said. A few seem insulted, but not willing to speak up at the insult you said. Probably because you're the largest, well, one of the two largest people in the room and the most armed. And
I
obviously,
actually do
are
not have my
there.
sword on me.
No,
I'm
but
still
you
gonna-
walk. Okay, it's like you speak cop. Okay, you are a huge person and you look like a legionnaire.
True.
I'm still gonna glare over at Victor and let him know subtly that I'm not happy.
So, one of the most aged ones, and I mean the oldest one there, you're not... From the size of his giant bushy eyebrows and beard, he looks to be mostly facial hair. And there's very tiny squinty eyes underneath these enormous caterpillar eyebrows. And he just sort of coughs a little bit. And the gnome next to him, who is much younger, who you're not even sure if they're a counselor, but they're sitting next to this old gnome, leans in as he whispers something in this younger gnome's ear. And there's a small little conference between between those two, as all of the Gnome Council seems to actually stop and wait for the response here. You can tell that this gnome is clearly the oldest, and it seems his opinion is very well respected. He is also wearing the plainest clothes. There's not much ostentation. There's a little bit of embroidery. And let's see. I keep forgetting. Does anybody here have Arcana?
I have Arcana.
No, wait. Hold on. Nefer. His robes are in... No, but you are able to detect magic automatically.
Yeah.
His robes and his staff, and even the chair he's sitting on, are magical. He's a mage of some kind.
Can I make the Arcana check to see if I also noticed that?
Okay, go ahead. You gotta get above like a 12. If anybody wants to make the Arcana check.
Well, that didn't work. I'm too busy poking Victor's shield.
Yeah, I'll make an Arcana.
Yeah.
Victor, does
So
he...
you do
Are
not...
you training Arcana?
Okay.
Yeah, he's a
Oh.
spell sword.
Yeah, I'm Eldritch Knight.
I didn't know you were training Arcana, though.
So
Yeah, spell sword.
So upon seeing...
Hold on, I'm not done.
Okay.
They're still like talking amongst themselves, and everybody seems to be waiting for this man's response. As he talks for a little bit between having this conference between him and what the best guess you can have is he's a translator or something, and the smaller gnome speaks up, going, "The great aged one, he says that some magical and potentially divine investigation needs to be made, and that the large, rude one is correct that perhaps our esteemed council's technological intelligence is not up to the task. He has several recommendations that should be taken into account on the potential investigations that can be made." Thank you.
I'm going to, actually, now that I've seen him and seen the deference and established the importance of this man, I'm actually going to stand in front of that one, and I am going to bow at the waist and state that we offer our services to you in, as recompense for saving our ship.
A small, again, muttered council in Gnomish goes on for a minute. The head, you're guessing Gnomish something or other. The one in the center who has the bejeweled staff is staring directly at you thoughtfully and sort of listening, but not contributing to this small muttered conversation. Until you hear the great aged one cough again. That's all he does. He just coughs. And the head gnome raps his staff against the floor again for silence. He goes, "Please give us a few moments to deliberate while you sit in the other room. I promise refreshments will be sent to you." Anything? Anybody?
And Victor will just
Follow
salute.
them in the room.
Yeah, Victor will give a Legionnaire salute and follow the guide.
Yeah, I'm just gonna be respectful and still high and mighty, but, you know.
You are led out by the panhandle guard, we'll call him, to a very nice sitting room. You have to, it's still got some clanking in it. You can still hear the very, very present ka-chunk, ka-chunk, ka-chunk every second or so from the large gears overhead. But the sitting room is very nice. Padded cushions laying around, very gnomish-sized furniture, which can sit the halflings very comfortably. And refreshments are brought to you in the form of wine and juiced lemon, which you've never had before. A lot of you have never even tasted lemon, except for Nefer, because money. And there's citrine, which is kind of like a sugary orange juice, and to eat. And there's some foods as well. You guys have not had anything except for field rations for weeks now, but there is it looks like they tried their best to cook a steak, so it's exceptionally raw, and it's procured nervously by a gnome servant to Kragsgar. It looks like they think that you're just some kind of strange lizard folk or something. And it looks like they tried to make a meal for each and every single one of you, by what they can tell, but all the meals are exceptionally racist.
Oh, okay. I mean, now you have to
Victor?
explain each of our meals.
Yep, I know. So the halflings are actually prepared with juiced lemon, a salad of greens on some poached eggs, and fish of several different types made into what you're pretty sure they tried for sushi. They failed. It's just raw fish on like a bowl of rice. Victor, you're given bona fide, 100% authentic Legion field rations. It's gruel. It's gruel and hardtack. And
I've had
beer.
worse.
Kragsgar, you are offered a giant stein of beer and almost raw meat. Evie, they don't know. They cannot tell. They offer you a plate of cookies.
Yay!
And chalky milk.
Of course. The child.
They think that you're a human child. They offer cookies and chalky milk.
Yay.
Which is, it works. It's perfect.
Okay. Yep.
So it takes, you've got about like an hour or so before they actually call you back in. I don't know if anybody wants to ask any questions, talk amongst themselves, eat whatever food.
I will ask, I know I've seen a bunch of crystals. I want to ask if there's any other types of magic, like if they have any possible shops or anything in town where magic items could be procured or anything like that.
The gnome servant who's been left with you, who is a young lady, does speak up, and she goes, "I know just the place, actually. Once we're all done here, I can absolutely take you on a shopping trip if you like." And she seems very excited.
I will go ahead and nod and thank them.
I'm going to thank them a little more imperiously. Be like, yes, help is most welcome. I'm going to look towards
That
the
will
park.
do.
What?
That will do. Thank you. Sorry, I was mocking your character.
Yes, I know. I'm gonna look towards our party and be like, and ask, what more do you think that we should try to gain or give to these people? What do you think our best plan of action is while we are here?
Well, I plan on giving them a complete after-action report of our encounter because they need to know exactly what they're going up against since, well, they don't have an actual functional Marine Corps for their ships.
To nod and be like, yes, that would be, good for our hosts, and hopefully in exchange they will offer us information as well. Does
The young
anyone
woman
else
speaks
have...
up again and says, the great ancient one actually seemed quite favorable of you, so I think this will go your way."
Well, that will be plus.
Does anyone else have input before we are, taken back? Any
So it looks like, it looks like AndrewDan missed most of what happened. So you did go and speak with the Gnome Council. They're currently in deliberations. You were offered refreshments in a room while they deliberate for the next hour.
Racist meals.
Yeah, the refreshments they offered seem to be tailored to every person's race. They don't seem to be able to tell what you are, so they think that you're a giant lizard folk person and offered you almost raw meat and beer while they deliberate. And there's a servant here who can answer your questions, but that's about it.
I give them a smile, but I say, do you know of the Dragonborn folk? Oh, in the north, I think, right? Or the east? Sorry, I confused the.
She pales quite hard all of a sudden and go, "Oh, you're dragon folk!" And then suddenly just bolts from the room.
Oh, right, I didn't mean to startle her. I just wanted to clear up the mishap that most people do about dragon folk and lizard folk. I know we're the same, but probably we're cousins.
Victor just puts his head in his hand and like, oh, this is gonna go poorly.
She comes back embarrassed as hell, blushing very hard, holding a stew that it seems like she put together quite quickly, but it's ridiculous. You can, like, for anybody not used to Dragonfolk cuisine, it makes your eyes water with how incredibly spicy the smell is. Kragsgar, this is like Mom used to make.
He feels like he blushes also a little bit from the from the cooking. Really, really impressive. And he'll
please forgive the large slab of meat. I'll take that away.
Well, if you cook it, might eat it as well. You know, food should not be left over.
Also, Evie, like, oh my god, like, she's shorter than Kragsgar's knee.
It doesn't matter. Love is love.
He gives a really warm and genuine smile, and he says, "It's fine. Common mistakes happen, and we all make mistakes. Don't be afraid to make mistakes."
Thank you, and goes and walks over by the door back to her position of the position she was standing in, sort of dancing on her feet a little bit, but still blushing and embarrassed.
Have you guys eaten before Dragon Folks too? No.
I think the only person that might be responsible with this might be Victor, because he did serve with Dragonborn and was stationed on the wall for a while with other dragon folk. So you're the only one that would know this is like face-meltingly spicy food.
Yep. That's why Victor pointedly stands up and walks a couple of steps away and sits down elsewhere. Because, nope, not on a bet. Well, there was that one bet.
Victor, you good? Oh, right, yeah, yeah, I forgot. Okay, yeah, sorry, yeah. I forgot. Right.
No, there was the one bet. We don't talk about that night.
You can tell me about it later.
I'm pretty sure, like, at some point, every Legionnaire has that same story.
Of course!
Okay.
What did
so is there anything else to talk about? Yeah, I think Evie was trying to say something.
Cracks got a girlfriend.
Guess not.
I was just being
basically,
polite.
like, I mean, the halflings got what they tried. It looks like they tried to make sushi and failed at it. Victor got Legionnaire fare, which is hardtack and gruel.
With beer.
With beer.
Beer makes it better.
That's like Mom used to make.
Evie got. They think Evie's a human child. Evie got cookies and chalky milk. Chocolate milk.
Wonderful.
Wait a minute. Has Evie ever actually tasted chocolate before?
I don't know.
Her
character probably not.
Evie gets a lot of cookies. I would assume that there's chocolate in there.
I would assume so. I mean, never mind. I could go into where chocolate comes from and how it's processed, but I'm not going to do it.
Cocoa bean.
It's a treat. Evie, you have never tasted chocolate before.
It's yum.
Fun.
Yes.
Okay, is there anything else? Or are y'all just going to wait and talk amongst
Other
yourselves
than
while
casually
we
setting fire to a pillow? No.
Don't do that!
I'm bored.
Yeah, no.
It's too late. Yeah, you leave Evie in one place long enough, she's going to get bored and set fire to something. The pillow is actually put out very quickly and very quickly replaced with an exact replica. They seem to be not very bothered by it, honestly.
Oh.
Before the guard comes back, it's a brand new guard. This one's armor looks to be made up of strips of paper, hardened with glue. And he leads you back to the council room, where it's about an hour later. It's getting to about a little bit after noon, and the council is still sitting here. Some of them, Thynius says, "I'm just gonna say that chocolate is highly toxic to foxes. That the gnomes might have unwittingly poisoned Evie." If Evie was real canine, yes.
Yes.
Oh my god.
But it's fantasy. Also, I would totally
Yes,
set
this is
fire to more
fantasy.
pillows to test their patience.
Anyway, eventually you're led back to the council. It seems it seems that the gnomes are unused to being hospitable to people of other races, but they tried their best. You know, like they were able to put up with any amount of shenanigans that Evie pulled, any amount of mischief. It's the perfect song to come on right now. But they didn't even seem to be upset. But however, when you go into the council, it seems some of them are upset, some of them are slightly mollified, some of them look almost pleased. But the two most important ones, the Great Aged One, the Great Aged One is asleep. You're pretty sure it's kind of hard to tell. He's in the exact same position as when you left. His squinty eyes underneath his eyebrows might be closed, but he is making a quite quiet noise.
I kind of asked Ryan, is it nap time for the elder one? I'm not really saying this. I'm not really saying this quiet, so it could be heard.
It's not time for what?
Is it nap time?
Oh, the one that the head gnome, as far as you can tell, the head of the council, coughs to get your attention, and looks slightly embarrassed while he glances again towards the aged one. So he stands. He just coughs to get your attention, and he says, "Deliberations have been made, and we have decided gnomes are not worldly, let's say. We have our navy, but we tend to stay to our mountain, and we believe for this future calamity, we will remain on our mountains. Perhaps the death aura will not reach us. However, it may. We know the rate at which the death aura is spreading, and if it does spread indeed up the mountains, we may be in danger within several months to a year.
Would you be willing
Some
to
of
share...
us... Sorry, he's still speaking. But you can go ahead.
I was gonna say, would you be willing to share this information with us? Our Legionnaire is willing to train and work with your people, to teach them how to fight against these monsters that are attacking your ships.
And he turns over to the side where you see a gnome that looks like they might be in a kind of a uniform, the same kind of uniform that Captain Covencrest was wearing, with the amount of opulence and tassels on it is, honestly, to a Legionnaire like Victor, it's ludicrous. They're trying very hard.
I am keeping a straight goddamn face.
The head gnome turns to him and he sort of cocks his head to the side a little bit, barks something in gnomish. It's very obviously an officer speak, and it's very short and to the point. I don't really have anything that you could kind of roll to understand officer speak in the language, so we're just going to go back to the counselor. And he says, "While your offer is appreciated, I don't believe it's necessary. The city of Delhas and the council has decided we are going to pull back our airships. Save one. If you would like, And he sort of turns his head as Captain Covencrest actually steps forward from a side door and nods to you. He says, "If you would like, we would like to give you command of the Windrunner. She is our fastest ship, our most capable, and Captain Covencrest has graciously offered to step down as captain. If you and your crew would like to take it over. We also have a potential interesting way to investigate what is happening without causing damage to another ship. If you are willing to take on this task."
How?
Our great aged one, and at this point the kind of younger translator next to him kind of prods him with an elbow a little bit until he goes wakes up. The great aged one has offered the location of an elven shrine where you could potentially go to speak with other wise and aged people.
Yes.
That may have more answers for you near Halldale. We can send a message to them through magical means to let them know that you're coming, but you will have to go into the Elven Kingdom.
Sure.
I'm going to ask if there is any service we can provide that would gain us fortifications for my ship.
Your ship will remain under repairs, but it may be some time until it is running again. If you wish, we can do a quick repair, change out its balloon and whatnot, but the significant damage to its rudder and to its forecastle it's going to take at least a month or more in dry dock, I'm afraid.
Okay. I'm going to nod and say then we will gladly take the Windrunner while repairs are completed, and thank them for their hospitality and their graciousness.
Excellent. Excellent. Thank you. You are shown on the map. Sorry, go ahead.
I was meaning to say as much as I can of that, like the thank you and whatnot, I'd like to say in Gnomish. You know.
You're trying to say thank you in Gnomish, I'm assuming?
Yes.
Moment, I'm making a notation on the map so you can know where you're going next.
Handel.
It allows me.
I'm really
Text command.
pro the gnome.
Oh.
Like.
Sorry, you were breaking it. Say again.
I was saying I'm really big on good relations with the gnomes, as they're the ones who can do the things for the ship, and like now, but as well as in the future and stuff. Like diplomacy, diplomacy, diplomacy.
You know, after insulting them the first time. Oh my god. Roll 20. What the fuck are you doing?
There's this thing where you don't want to give too much deference, but you want to make sure to give enough, but it's hard to judge. Because if you give too much deference, then you come across as weak, and it's hard to tell. Plus, I'm kind of snotty.
Kinda.
And Victor's just a Legionnaire doing what Legionnaires do best. Motivating people to solve problems.
Alright, so you've been offered command of the Windrunner. Is there anything else you'd like to speak of? They also show you on the map exactly where you are going to be traveling to.
I might have asked in my head. Did I swear I asked them to share with us the rate so that we could plot how fast things are moving. Did I asked, right?
You're breaking up a lot right now.
Yep.
I was trying to ask them earlier about the rate at which the death circle was expanding, I wanted that information so we could like plot it on our maps. Did I actually ask that, or was it like in my head?
No, you did. We don't do math here.
I do. Ask me.
Don't
Well,
you dare,
even if we
I'm not going to do that. Okay, so, at how close this specific spire column is, it will take up to a year to reach Delhoth.
Okay.
If it travels over mountains.
You're saying
Slow,
if.
but slow but deadly. Like a fart.
What?
Which means, based off that information, it would take about 6 months to reach Tibermont from the other tower.
Yeah. And same for the closest one to Delhoth reaching Bokhol. It would be about the same. So, you do the fucking math, I ain't gonna.
How much do we travel a day with the balloon?
With the new ship.
With the new ship, yeah.
It will take you several weeks to reach the Haldel Temple.
Well, no time to waste. Let's go.
I guess, yeah.
Yeah, let's rock and roll.
I was a little, my microphone I think blurted out and I couldn't hear anything because I need to pull everything. Did they mention what do we need to do in exchange for getting the Windrunner? Just
No.
get to... Oh,
Basically, all of all of Delhoth and all the Gnomish airships are going to hunker down in Delhoth itself and hope that the Death Aura doesn't reach them. So they're kind of closing shop.
They're turtling.
They're turtling. And, because they're afraid, and they're not warriors, they're not adventurers, they're gnomes.
But he pointed us in the direction of the next wise person we could go talk to, which is in the Elven Kingdom.
Yeah.
So we're going to look at elves.
Elves have always been such secretive folk, not revealing too much. Well, probably to the dragon folk, not to everyone else, maybe.
Well, I can speak
Are
the
we
Elven
gonna
tongue.
have- Like, I'd kind of like to know the difference between the Windrunner and our ship.
Windrunner's
so-
bigger.
And superior.
Bigger, faster, has more armaments, is more heavily fortified, is not powered by a giant crystal.
It's not powered by a thermonuclear device.
How is it powered?
Steam.
Steam? Okay.
No, as a matter of fact, the Windrunner is it is also much more optimized. The Windrunner is one of those that is actually powered by infused mana crystals,
Okay.
which are, expensive.
Right. Okay. Do we need a bigger crew for this ship?
It comes
No,
with
as a matter of fact, you need a competent pilot, an engineer, and that's about it, really. The ships like this can mostly take care of themselves. I mean, anybody who's familiar with sailing, which Rynan and Nefer, you both are, can take care of all the topsail stuffs. That's about it.
So only
Okay.
thing we need is an engineer.
Yeah, ours is on the front.
We need our friend, our good friend.
Wigglesworth.
I don't
Dorfin,
think he's
yeah.
willing to leave his ship.
I was about to say, I think it's best that we keep him on the other ship. That way he can kind of oversee the repairs, because we don't want them messing with the ship.
I mean, we don't even know where he is.
So basically, as you're moving right now, and I'm going to say that you're being escorted out of this council chambers again, with two guards, the maid that you had before, and Captain Covencrest is with you, and she goes, "Oh, don't worry. Once I'm gone, he'll show his face and give him the idea to tinker on a new airship. He'll come right along."
Sounds like we got that handled then.
Yeah, I guess we got the handle for us.
Yeah.
And she sort of she tilts her head a little bit and goes, "You know what? I think I know exactly how to get him into the Windrunner. I think I'll take a visit to your ship." And she smiles to herself a little bit.
Victor
Just-
giggles. Victor
just-
giggles.
This is unnatural. Victor, why do you giggle?
Cause I've seen this trick before.
Okay, so we're going to do a quick little thing here. You're basically led back to the wow words.
The ship, the dry dock.
Airship Harbor District, where you are allowed to, and we'll give it this a couple days just to get all these things ready, because it is going to take at least a day or two to actually get the Windrunner back into movement.
Move our stuff
in the
over.
meantime, you can move your stuff over, get supplies. They actually supply you with, you find on the Windrunner itself at least a month's worth of rations, some in cookable state, some in hardtack state, which we will add on the airship manifest. Anything that you guys, so you get 100 days of rations, so we're gonna add 30 days to that. If anybody would like to get anything off of the airship itself, now would be the time, such as stuff that is hidden in the smuggler's nest. There is nobody on your airship when you get there, as far as you can tell. You are met by, God, what was her face?
Yeah, the steward. I was about to say I was gonna
Lourdes.
have her transfer all my stuff over. Yeah, Lourdes. Yeah, that's the one.
Yeah, you're met by Lourdes, who takes charge of moving all of the stuff over, making sure it gets taken care of and getting put to the right place. And she very quickly snaps at the two escort guards that are with you, and they sort of embarrassed follow her around, as well as the 4 guards that were sent with you in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
The 4
Yeah,
human
we should-
guards, which they will go with you and serve as crew. By the way,
Nice.
Yeah.
I'll go ahead and get the items out of the smuggler's nook and transfer them over. I don't want those to be found.
and while you are doing all of this, Captain Covencrest disappears. After a while of moving stuff around, anybody who was on the airship at the time hears shouting, things being thrown, what sounds like some crockery being broken, and then dead silence for a while. As you all move onto the Windrunner itself, suddenly from below decks, near the engineering room, Wigglesworth comes out from the engineering room. He is disheveled, and anybody who is paying attention notices his shirt is on inside out, and he has an enormous grin underneath his scraggly beard. And as he comes out of the
Yeah.
That was some convincing.
Yes.
but he seems quite pleased with himself, and he dusts off his hands, which are mostly covered in some kind of grease. But anybody who looks in the engineering bay itself notices the giant crystal that you found in the old tomb, in that cave, is hooked up into the Windrunner itself. And it's chugging along. There are different things blowing steam out and whatnot, and there's strange wires attached to it. It looks like he basically, somehow, while everything was being moved over, got the giant mana crystal over to this the Windrunner and kind of jerry-rigged it to hook it up. He wasn't willing to abandon this thing.
That's understandable.
There is a bay. There is a bay in the back of the Windrunner itself. The hatch that opens in the Windrunner, instead of being in the side like it was in your other ship, this one is in the back. There is a bay that has several infused mana crystals on it. And it looks like he basically unhooked the mana crystals that were already powering the Windrunner and moved them into the bay. And now that you're here, you can see specifically Rynan, because he has been researching these crystals, the color coming off of the crystals and the one that is inside the actual engineering room itself, completely different color. I need Arcana checks made.
For me as well?
Well, I can see magic. Does that do me any good?
It does actually. You're skipping it.
Oh, okay.
Don't care.
But Rynan, and apparently Victor doesn't care.
Would I be able to roll for it, even
No,
though I'm not proficient?
No.
I will hold on. I will allow untrained Arcana checks on this one.
Alright.
Nefer, you're still gonna have to make one. But I'm giving you a slight bonus, so I'll give you advantage on this.
Okay.
Ooh, you didn't need it.
No, I did not.
You should roll again anyways in case of a crit.
You should, yeah. I mean, you rolled a 19, but try anyway.
Also remember shift and control. Shift for advantage and control for disadvantage when rolling.
That's useful. Are you gonna roll again, Nefer?
Oh. Yeah, I guess I should.
Yeah, I mean, you got a 19. You still got a 1 in 20 chance of getting a 20.
Is it bad?
No, okay. So, at this point, even though Ryan, you've been studying. I'm gonna give you advantage too, so go ahead and make another roll. Oh. What do you know? Rynan and Nefer, both of you, as you're looking into the engine room and looking at the giant crystal that is now hooked up in weird fashion, you're pretty sure part of the hookup to it is just a belt holding it in place, like somebody's waist belt holding it in place. And comparing it to your first time actually being around an infused mana crystal, the power coming off of these is significant. But comparing the power in the infused mana crystal to the crystal that you found is like comparing a candle to the sun.
Interesting.
It is an overwhelming amount of power coming off of this this crystal that you got. And Wigglesworth, as he sees you peering at this, goes, I had to try my best to make sure that they didn't actually touch this thing. Keep them out of the engine room while I was getting it situated. Anyway, let's get the hell out of here.
I agree.
Except
Okay,
for the maid is still with you and waiting to take you on a shopping trip.
Ah, yes, the shopping trip. Victor does not have enough money for anything, really.
I don't have enough money for stuff I wanted either.
Would I be able to transfer my pretty decent-sized brazier to the other ship? I'm pretty strong, but... Okay.
Well, you've got 2 gnomish guards and 4 human guards helping.
And,
Okay.
And
Yeah,
Victor,
you have labor.
and Victor.
You've got labor to transfer whatever you want over to the Windrunner.
Also, you mentioned shopping. Tell us.
What?
Alright, so, Rynan, you were the one that wanted to go shopping. She will take you to the Magic Artificer section of the shopping district.
I'm looking for something particular. I'm looking for a scribe's gnome.
Also, I will mention there are gnomes here, gnome artificers, selling magical weaponry and armor.
I'm
yes,
looking
they do
for a
have scribes.
scribe's gnome.
Yeah, I've got 300. I've got 300 gold. I don't have enough for magic weapons.
A scribe's gnome is a gnome with a shitload of magic tattoos.
Oh,
I
you're
want a
looking for a
magic
magic tattooist?
Yes.
Oh, interesting. First off, does anybody know the price? Okay. I got prices. Never mind.
They follow the same as scrolls, I think.
Yeah, I actually have a lot of gold right now.
I only have 700 gold, but I'm saving up for Cloak of Elvenkind.
I could really.
You should be able to afford a Cloak of Elvenkind. It's just you need to be in an elven city to get it.
Yeah, and guess where we're going?
Anyway, anything that anybody would like to look for, now would be the time. However, magical tattooing is... it's not something the maid has ever heard of. There are tattoo artists, and if... You know what? I'm gonna say yes. You can find an artificer that is willing to do tattooing. It is gonna be pricey.
Okay. How pricey we talking?
What are you looking for?
Mark of the Shadowfell tattoo.
Can you get me a link?
Yep. It is a magic item.
Hey.
I'm not sure if this will work, but I will see. Come on, open the damn thing.
Open, damn you.
By the way, for anybody who's interested, we are currently listening to a mix between Chrono Trigger, Secret of Mana, and Final Fantasy VI OSTs randomized.
If that
Okay,
shows
so-
up.
let's look at this tattoo.
Question of the DM: would I be familiar? I think I speak Elven, don't I? No, I speak Celestial. That's right. Right.
That's a wondrous item.
Yeah, but it's classified as rare. What makes it wondrous is it is an attunement item. As with
So
all
you're not really
tattoos.
looking for a tattooist, you're looking for the needle itself.
That's
Yes,
something
and
a
then-
artificer can make.
Because, yeah, the tattoo is a needle, and then you poke it to your skin, and the tattoo appears.
Well, here's an interesting thing. The price for that is on the link that we have on the pinned messages of the prices of magical items, as listed as 7,000 gold for the needle.
That is insane.
If you want the tattoo one time, that still uses up the needle until you attune out of the needle. So you can't just find a tattooist to make it one time until you want to do something else.
Yeah.
It's the tattoo that's magic. It's not the tattoo. It's not the tattoo that's magic. It's the needle.
Yeah.
Hold on. Let me see. Magic tattoo 5e cost, because these were made up in Tasha's Cauldron.
Oh, I do speak Elvish.
Oh, you
I
have.
speak Elvish.
Oh, you have Sylvan
Okay.
language.
I speak
Elvish is a
Halfling,
different
Common,
language.
Oh,
Celestial, and Elvish.
what's
So,
Sylvan?
in-
then?
Elvish is different from Sylvan is Fey.
Oh, right.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I don't speak
Mhm.
Elvish.
So-
Fuck.
In knowing Elvish, would I be familiar with Elvish customs? Maybe my family has traded with them before.
Absolutely.
So would I know of any?
One moment. I just found a link for you in our D&D chat on Discord of the different types of tattoos that were included in Tasha's Cauldron and their prices.
Okay.
And there is an ability to design your own custom tattoos.
Okay.
So you are familiar with Elven customs. You are familiar with the Elven. You do know the Elvish language, and that's the only way that you would have learned it is from an elf themselves.
Okay.
Okay,
Would
so
I
it
know
would be...
of a gift? Oh,
Sorry, go ahead.
sorry. I was gonna say, would I know of a gift to purchase to bring them?
Oh. Ooh, that's a tough one.
Yeah,
Give me a second
buddy.
to think about that. Yeah, that's a good one. Let me think for a second. Because it would have to be old or ornate AF. Actually, as you walk into the airship, you see one of those magically infused crystals and go, oh ho ho.
Would
Nobody outside of Delhas has access to these crystals.
Would I be able to take one from the ship, or do I need to buy one? Like,
You are the only. This ship is, for all intents and purposes, yours right now, as
right,
well
but
as
if I
everything
take
on it.
if I take it, is the ship not going to be able to run? Is it like?
Oh no, these are like extra. These are like extra fuel cans, just lying around.
Yeah, I'm gonna jack one of those. That's going.
Rusty.
Yeah, Dorfin had to remove 2 of them that were already hooked into the Windrunner, and there's an extra 4 after that. That's just extra fuel for the Windrunner itself, and you've got the giant one.
Right.
So-
Right.
They are filled with magic potential, and a basically gigantic battery power source for magic stuff. Nobody outside of Delhas has access to these.
Right. So I'm just gonna add. I'm gonna have that in my room, and I'm just gonna add it to my note. It's mana crystal, right? Mana crystal.
So,
it is a roll, by the way, for the cost. It is 1d10 times 500.
Frosty, we're not level 5 though, so you can't get it.
You can get it. It's all up to the DM.
Okay.
It's not a level
He asked and-
restriction.
Yeah, he asked, and I'm offering. It just depends on what he wants to get.
Okay.
Yeah, I was wanting a Shadowfell brand tattoo so that I can get the dark vision and advantage on stealth checks. The shadowy defense is honestly worthless to me because it's a reaction to reduce damage, but I get uncanny dodge at next level, which just does the same thing, and it doesn't have a recharge.
Yeah.
Shadowfell brand tattoo is on this list. It would be. Basically a one-time use half to attune, and it would be permanent in this way. You would not be able to take it off. Well, magically, you'd be able to take it off, but you know.
It's not a one-time
Basically,
use.
No, it recharges once a day. I read that. I mean, like, if you just get this tattoo, it will be significantly less than the 7,000 for the needle. It wouldn't require as much attunement. It would be on your face, and basically, the only way to take it off would be a remove curse spell. So if you're willing to do that, we can talk price.
I can save.
I was gonna say 1,200. Permanent dark vision and once a day insubstantial.
Like the permanent dark vision and the advantage on stealth checks is what I was after. The other thing is worthless. The other part of it is worthless. The shadow defense.
Yeah. But 1,200. You do find somebody offering to do that for you.
I'll pass, but let me see what other tattoos they got available.
Okay. Anybody else want to do any kind of shopping, looking around?
Nope.
Just okay, because I'm not familiar. Like, we're looking at a potential combat situation. What would you typically load up on? Like potions of healing? What would be?
I would suggest for those who are of the inclination, magical weaponry.
I don't got much money.
Most magical weapons of +1 would cost, I think, 1,000, or was it 500?
Nope. 500 for a +1. I got the list. I linked it again.
Nice.
But there is several stuff, and I will say right now, since you are the one that is doing this, and you are in the artificial section, oh, it's 400. You are getting a discount on things that you buy.
You're still poor.
Okay, I got the 2 things that I want. I'd want an Illuminator's Tattoo Needle. That's a common one, so it's between 50 and 100 gold.
Wait, a +1 weapon's only 400?
Yeah.
And then I'll get my rapier enchanted to be a +1 rapier.
I might actually have enough. Give me 1 second.
Does it cost less to enchant an already bought weapon, or does it cost more?
It costs less. You're not paying for materials.
Is this gold or silver?
Yeah, let's see. The Illuminator's Tattoo Needle is common. We'll call that 60 gold.
Okay. I'll take that. It allows me to write on anything with my finger.
Yep.
And then I can make the text vanish except to the reader who I specify. So
Frosty, you can go like, "Hey, I'm Ryan, and welcome to the Disney Channel," and draw the Disney logo.
So yeah, I think I'll upgrade my longsword. How much would it cost for the upgrade?
It would cost a third of the normal price. I was gonna go from 350, so let's call it. You find an artificer willing to do a +1 enchantment on existing weapons for 150 gold apiece.
Okay.
Cool.
Cool.
So I'm looking at 210 gold then.
Would we be able to take a small amount of gold from the deposit that we made for the ship? Or have we used that treasury last time? I forget.
That's up to never.
What's going on? Say that again.
Krasgar, probably we're gonna meet in the shops in the Emporium zone, and well, Nefer, excuse me. I've been looking to he kind of waves his great axe around to enchant my weapon. Would you kindly spare me 50 gold pieces? That's all that I need. We'll get them back. I'll get them back.
Okay. Can we backtrack just a little? Because before I hand over 50 gold, which I'm willing to do, I need to know if I want to spend that money on myself. So I never use my weapon. I don't.
Mm-hmm.
What about armor?
There's armor, there's amulets, rings. They might be a little bit more pricey.
The question
Depends on what
also
you're looking for.
becomes, what armor can you wear?
Right.
I don't have.
Yeah.
Nefer,
Hey.
you are only able to use light armor, so you can go with leather.
I'm not
can
able to
switch
use
to
any
leather
armor.
She
Can I
can.
have leather?
He can get studded, which is better, and it's
Yeah.
So-
slightly.
Also, it's also enchanted stuff. You already have those enchanted robes.
Right. That's true. I've got studded leather armor, so
So that means I can get it.
I've got 260 gold, but I'm just not familiar enough with items to know what would be worth purchasing or what.
You are a warlock.
Okay.
Get yourself a spell storing ring to give you an extra goddamn spell slot.
Yeah, that too.
Okay. Okay.
Or
How much?
Pearl of Power.
I have a pearl of power.
You can get a spell storing ring to give you 4 spell slots then.
I have an amulet of spell storing.
Okay.
A ring of spell storing is 20,000 gold.
What? No?
According to this list, that doesn't make sense.
A spell store ring is a green item.
Yeah, it's rare. Well, the spell storing is rare. Would rare knock it up its price a little bit? 50%, I guess. 25. No idea.
I mean, like, she's already got the Pearl of Power.
Yeah, that gives her
Yeah.
3 spell slots.
yeah.
Yeah. And that costs from what I'm seeing on this list, that's about 600.
So I could get my shield upgraded for another 100 gold.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, the only thing I can't get upgraded is the armor because that's 1,000 gold for +1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
But
plate
that's okay.
things.
I know there was a Warlock tattoo that you can get, but the tattoos are expensive. No. I can look for something that is not rare or uncommon, something that is.
Yeah.
I need to look. Give me just a moment.
Like magic tattoos aren't bad. There's barrier,
yeah.
which increases your AC, depending on what rarity you go with, to where you don't need to wear armor for that. There's Illuminator, which is what I went with, which allows me to write on anything, and then make messages only appear to those who I specify. There's the Masquerade Tattoo, which allows you to cast Disguise Self on yourself.
There's the Lifewell tattoo. Like there's a lot of different tattoos. Seriously,
Lifewell
like,
is
look at this place.
expensive, though.
It doesn't say what their rarity is on this list here.
That's very rare. Lifewell is very rare.
Yes.
Well,
Illuminator,
I mean,
Masquerade, and Spell Rot, which Spell Rot tattoos are needles that can store spells, and then you put them on your skin and you can cast the spell based off the person who made the needle.
okay, where are you seeing the rarity of these?
This is all just on D&D Beyond.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, and then Barrier Tattoo, there's Uncommon, which is the 12 plus dex, Rare, which is 15 plus dex, and Very Rare, which is 18. The straight 18. But the only legendary tattoo is Blood Fury. There's 3 very rare of Absorbing, Ghost Step, and Lifewell. There's 1 rare, which is the Shadowfell brand. 2 uncommon, which is Coiling Grasp and Eldritch Claw. And then Illuminator, Masquerade, Spell Rot. Those are all... Like, the Illuminator and Masquerade are common. The Spell Rot and Barrier vary.
Yeah, the barrier, it depends on how much you'd want to spend. So you could get an uncommon barrier, which would raise your AC by, like, 2?
Yeah, because it's 12 plus dex.
Yeah, it basically would give you natural AC. And that would be uncommon, which would be about, we'll say, 200 for a barrier tattoo, because it would have to cover a significant portion of you. Are you still here, Nefer?
Oh, you were talking to me about those. Oh, that's.
We've been talking to you this whole time.
Yes.
No, I thought AndrewDan was asking about tattoos. Okay.
No, we're looking for you
that
for
sounds-
tattoos. Yeah.
Okay. So, what did the price come out to?
If it depends on what you want to get.
The
The
barrier,
barrier
tattoo.
tattoo.
sounds like
The barrier tattoo would give you +2 AC as a natural AC. Would go on your chest and would be 200 gold.
A rare
Yeah.
one or uncommon barrier tattoo?
That's
That's
the
uncommon.
What about the rare
Yeah,
one?
that's what you
Okay.
could afford. The rare
Okay.
one would be about 700.
I only have
7?
260, so. Yeah, let's do that then. How do I add that to myself?
Oh,
I guess it would go in equipment under natural armor. Yeah, the rare one would give you a +5, which is why it's way more expensive, Evie.
yeah, but the thing is, I can afford one. So the question is, do I get this, or do I wait until I can get a Cloak of Elvenkind?
That's
Do
up
you
to you.
plan on getting hit?
That's up to you. Yeah.
Well, considering so far, spiders like me.
Yeah, that's because they're ambush predators.
And you are the smallest target, so you are the easiest prey.
And you've always been in the back.
A small question for the enchantment of the shield and the our battle axe. It's 100 for each.
I think I said 150 for +1.
For the sword, the shield is at 300, so that would be if we're doing.
That would be cheaper for a shield. A shield. Let's see.
Okay, so 150 for the weapon. Got it.
And then if it was one-third
oh yeah,
value...
no, yeah, that would be 100 gold to upgrade
Yeah.
to a +1 shield. Yeah.
Okay, so 250 total. So I'm not
Yeah.
doing. Okay.
You know, I think I'm gonna get the rare barrier tattoo.
It's a +5. I mean, that's ridiculous.
It's a +5 plus their dex, and Evie has a what, 19 in dex?
No, I have 16
Oh my
decks.
God. What
Well-
have I just allowed?
Also,
Well, that was
Fine.
your mistake. You said 700 when the other
I-
rare tattoo you told me 7,000.
No, that was for the needle. The needle was 7,000.
Oh,
You're
they're
just
just
getting
getting
the
the
tattoo right
tattoo with.
Yeah, which now this tattoo can be like rendered inert by dispel magic, by attuning something new to your skin, to getting injured in the chest very heavily, like a scar. So
so I can't
Anti-magic
have
field.
so I can't have this on my back.
anti-magic field. Yes, you could actually.
So
How much was the cloak of
Kragsgar.
Elvenkind again?
Yeah, Victor. Yeah, I just got done my shield, and whoa, look at those runes. They're flowing. Do you know what these say?
Yeah, well, it only cost us about 300 each to get our armor upgraded.
Omni, how much was the cloak of Elvenkind?
Keeping with leather.
Not here. The Cloak of Elvenkind was going to be 1,000. You would have to get an elf to make it. Boots of Elvenkind are 600.
Yeah,
And
okay.
same
I still need 300 more gold then, and go to an elf city.
Okay. So
You know,
I'm giving
I'll
Andrew
still save up for the cloak of Elvenkind.
Okay.
I'm gonna give AndrewDan his 50 gold. And,
Thank you so much. You'll get them back, I promise.
I'm getting my tattoo, which equipment.
They should be. Nefer should be able to get the needle for their tattoo, because theirs is only
needle-
uncommon.
The needle would be far more expensive, and she is limited on her funds.
Because I pay for all y'all folks.
I don't think you've paid
do for
anything for
myself.
me yet.
No, well, I buy your guys. I've stocked you guys with potions and provide your rations and all that stuff. I was giving you a hard time. You guys don't cost that much, but I do, like, support the crew. You know, I pay Lourdes's wages and all that good jazz.
Lourdes has
But
been paid
no,
off for a
it's
year,
not that
so-
much. It's not that much, so not that.
I'm still saving up all my gold I've earned since the start of our adventure.
It's
But
amazing. You can get a +5 natural AC. And you're still going for the
So-
Cloak of
Well,
Elvenkind.
that's because again you told me I can't get the needle.
True. Yeah.
The
Well, the needle would be like 100. Like, you gotta understand, the needle is 10 times the price of the item of what you're getting right now.
Well, we're poor anyway, so
Yeah, I got the needle for mine so that I don't have to constantly be attuned to it.
I was about to say the fun thing is, in terms of the world, we're rich as fuck. In terms of the D&D game, we're poor.
Well, you're buying
Right.
magical items. That's what happens.
I haven't bought a single thing yet.
I know. I'm saying you're buying magical items. They're much more expensive.
But yeah, I went ahead and added the +1 rapier and the needle for the tattoo. That was 210 gold total.
Mm-hmm. Okay, where does Nefer put the barrier spell on her sheet?
You would go to items, and then you'd put barrier tattoo and what type of barrier tattoo it is.
Where the heck is items? Inventory. All
Yep,
the backpack.
inventory, manage inventory,
I was about to say just let Frosty
Oh.
do it.
and then barrier tattoo uncommon, and then equip that as your armor. And that's good because in the event that you're unarmored, you're still armored.
Cool.
Yep, that's how they work.
I'm absolutely broke. Most of my money went to upgrading our ship that y'all broke. So yeah, I'm down to 10 gold.
I'm sorry that all the money went there and then they flew it into a death cloud. I did not plan on you all doing that.
Well, okay, but they're fixing up my ship. I'm assuming the upgrades will still be there when we get back. When we get it back.
Yes. Yes.
But still.
But knowing gnomes, there might be some unintended upgrades that we do not expect.
Possible.
Okay,
You know,
so
one thing...
anything else anybody wants to buy while we're here?
Can I make a donation to the church?
There is no church of Bahamut here.
Okay. Alas.
You're in a gnome city.
I am truly sad and disappointed.
Alright, I think we're good to head out now.
Yep.
Are you okay? If everybody's all done, you can board the Windrunner and get on your way.
Yes.
Okay, so the Windrunner is familiar and at the same time unfamiliar. You can basically tell where things are, what rooms are supposed to be. There are, however, several more rooms than you're quite used to. I'm not gonna make a map for it right now. It'll take me a little bit to find another airship map that will fit what we're looking for. But it is also more militaristic, far more utilitarian. There are pipes everywhere, leading power to different places that, instead of being hidden behind wooden panels or what have you, are actually like just out in the open. The outside of it is much more armored. The inside of it has carvings on it. It looks like they tried for some ornamentation in several different rooms. There's a stateroom, an actual, like, for real council stateroom, which is basically just a large table. It has maps of Kalgard, maps of different places in different nooks and crannies on it. There is a ornate and very well cleaned captain's quarters, which was previously held by Captain Covencrest, and it is very well kept, and looks like it was vacated quite recently. You know, all the rooms are very utilitarian, which doesn't bother Victor, but everybody else will have to personalize their own. There is an engineering compartment actually underneath the pilot's deck. The pilot's deck is this enormous sweeping thing that actually is this, like, okay, it's the front of the Windrunner is a bubble. Is a giant glass bubble, and the pilot's chair is actually sitting in the middle of this bubble with a kind of walkway going to it. So you can actually see underneath you while piloting this one, which is intimidating because you kind of look out over this and it's just a troll. As you actually take off out of Delhas, the sound of the great fan in the front and the whipping of the sails you're not very used to, because you realize that the ship that you had before, which, by the way, you still have never named that ship.
I know, right?
So if you were agreed to name it SSS Poop Deck.
Oh, I would name it the Steel Defender, but
Actually, I have a really good name, but I don't know if it would fit. It's a name that I really like.
Go ahead.
And it's with my name and stuff. The Zephyr.
The Zephyr.
Yeah.
The Zephyr.
Oh,
Nefer.
that's clever.
The SSS Shipwreck.
The Zephyr is a perfect name. That is actually, I believe, isn't that one of the Pantheon? Hold on.
No, well, it might be, but in Greek it's the word for a breath of fresh air or a warm breeze.
It's also an amazing spell.
Yeah, that's a great name.
Yay, because it's Greek. It's not going to really fit in with the world, but, like, you know.
I don't know. there's actually a spell called the Zephyr Strike, which is an amazing spell.
Yeah, but that's perfect. Really, that's the perfect name.
And it rhymes with
Okay.
never.
Yeah. So the you leave behind the Zephyr, and you realize the Zephyr always ran very quiet. Whereas this one, it's distractingly loud sometimes in some parts of the ship. Also, there's a lot more safety features. For example, the top deck actually has harnesses attached to chains attached to different parts of the ship, so that, you know, you can actually get over the side of the ship if you need to. Or, say, if there's combat on top of the ship, you're not at risk of falling to your death. Victor.
Bah! I survived!
There is a stocked armory complete with arrows of different types. In fact, there are some arrows filled with alchemist fire, and some ballista bolts also filled with set up with alchemist fire to erupt on, you know, impact, as well as, you know, the normal swords, armor, what have you. It looks like they don't really have much in the way of swords. It seems like in the armory they prefer spears, which is a very gnomish thing, you know. And also, an interesting thing: who was going to check the armory first?
Probably
Yo.
Victor.
Me and Victor. Yeah, me and Victor.
Okay, I'm gonna say, Kragsgar, you're gonna have to spend some time attuning the room that you choose to your personal shrine.
Alright.
Victor would check out the armory first. There's guns.
Huh.
Ooh.
2 flintlock rifles, 2 flintlock pistols, and plenty of ammo for each.
Huh.
You have only seen them before the first time Dorfin used one, which was fighting while the ship was going down. You don't know how to use them, and you've never used one before. You've heard of them, called boomsticks.
They're also probably sized for gnomes, which means they're not even sized for me, so...
Kinda, yeah. All the
So-
armor in here, the spears in here, it's all gnome-sized.
Which, how much smaller than halflings are gnomes?
Not by much.
So it would be
both
appropriate.
classified as small creatures.
Yeah, the halflings could easily use these.
So, basically the spears are polems for me.
Yes.
Pokey sticks.
Well, they're javelins to you.
Yeah. For all intents and purposes, yeah.
It's a spear
Also,
without the reach property.
Yeah, also, Kragsgar and Victor and Evie all have to duck their heads to go through doors. All the time.
Eh.
Oh, so it's not a quality of life since I'm only 4'1".
Yeah, you don't have to duck much, but like Victor and especially Kragsgar have to like almost crawl through some of the doors.
Yeah, like I know. Yeah, I know I'm a medium creature, but for flavor, I don't have to duck too much.
Yeah, not by much. But like Kragsgar is enormous and has horns.
I bang my horns on the top of the door.
I just giggle
Yeah,
each
the
time I see it.
Yeah, the problem with Kragsgar, and a lot of these doors have ornamentation on the top of them, and a lot of it is made of what looks to be precious metals like gold or silver. All of them very quickly on the trip to Halldale get 2 grooves in the middle of each door.
Because Kreisgar forgets to duck.
Well, no, he doesn't forget to duck. He doesn't duck enough for his horns.
He has to crawl.
So basically, you can tell where Kragsgar is in the airship by the every time he goes through a door.
Dong.
We need to
Well,
make
he
this
is the
door
paladin. His stealth checks are not
stellar.
what we're after.
Yeah.
So you were told that it was going to be several weeks to get to Halldale, but again, it seems like the giant crystal that was installed by Dorfin brings it down to about a week and a half instead. It's not much of a change, but it's a surprising change in the speed that you're traveling. And you can hear Evie and well, I guess Evie is really the only one familiar with this. The creaking of the Windrunner, you're kind of worried the pieces are going to fly off if you go much faster.
So what you're saying is we're not at top speed.
No, you're not at top speed. You could go to top speed, but there's an alarming creaking if you try to go any faster.
So noted. Full speed is emergency speed.
Yeah. And in almost no time at all, you reach the outer ranges of the giant Halldale Forest. The Halldale Forest is a great redwood forest. The trees in it are ancient.
Enormous.
And Evie has to actually gain altitude to actually avoid scraping the bottom of the Windrunner on the trees themselves. And the tree canopy is blinding. You cannot see anything through it. You see birds, flocks of birds flying occasionally, but that's all you see. Except for in the distance to the south, from the tower north of Tibermont, the pillar north of Tibermont, there is a large brown patch as the circle of death from that pillar extends into the Halldale Forest itself. It's far, far in the distance. You can only see it on a good day, but it's noticeable. The change from the greenery underneath you to the giant brown far to the south.
Yes.
From the trees dying. And you're pretty sure on your map that you do clear the city of Halldale at one point. You can't tell.
Yep.
It's just trees. For days and days, it's just green below you. An ocean of leaves and green and occasional flights of birds, and that's it. And the susurrus of the leaves constantly moving against each other, and that's it.
I wonder if we scare the elves by going over the trees in the city.
You can't tell. There's been no sound, no nothing, no sign of anything that even just a small clearing where you'd be able to take down the Windrunner or even just let down the platform. It's just green.
Wouldn't
Until
I,
you
with
reach-
my knowledge... Oh, okay, never mind.
No, go ahead.
I thought you were hinting that we didn't know where to land or where to go, and I was like, but since I know Elvish and stuff, wouldn't I have some idea?
No, because you've only seen anything of Halldale from the ground.
Gotcha.
Survival checks using the map to get us back to basically over top of the city.
Well, you're trying to travel to the temple, so you're nowhere near your destination.
Oh. Okay,
Yeah.
so no, I'm gonna make sure we stay, like, I'm going to assist with navigation in case the temple is as hidden as the city.
Okay.
Yay.
But
If needed.
I am actually gonna call it a day for that right now. As you reach the temple itself, I'll do a quick description of the temple. But I'm fading like hardcore right now. Eventually you do reach the temple, and it's obvious where it is because it's on the side of Terra Incarna itself. As the landscape starts to rise, the trees start to get fewer and fewer and start to change from the redwood and oaks to conifers and pine. More hardy trees that can survive in the colder temperatures as the elevation rises. And you actually have to push your elevation up a little bit to actually reach where the Halldale Temple is. But it's very obvious. Because it's built into the side of the mountain itself. Now, none of you have ever been this... You've semi-been this close to Terra Incarna Mountain itself, but it's the scope of it is still an overwhelming, impossible to describe kind of mountain that quickly reaches the top of the clouds, and you can tell you could just keep going on what you assume is forever. And seeing it from this close, there is no doubt in your minds the gods live up there, if you believe in gods. But the temple itself is obvious. It has the kind of what is the term? Is it Art Deco? Nobody's gonna know what the hell I'm talking about anyway.
Art
Or
Deco is
Nouveau.
kind of like Bioshock.
Yeah, it's kind of the
Architecture.
1950s design.
No, I remember Dwarven is Art Deco, Elven was Art Nouveau.
That's about right.
Yeah. Hold on, I'm looking for something. Go with Fantasy Mountain Temple. Come on. Like, I'm trying to find something. Oh no, that's perfect. Hold on. It's I know I'm always like pausing game to do these kinds of things, to look for the perfect thing, but like it's hard for me to describe certain things. Whereas I can just do like this. Come on, where are you? And I don't need to, you know? Come on. There's a good boy, come on. So as you can see, it's quite obvious where the temple itself is. There's outbuildings, there's architecture, and there's a quick walkway going up to it. There's vines covering everything, and it looks ancient. And as you are approaching the temple itself, around the picture, the part where you can see those little people walking down there, there is a man in ornate, very dark blue robes, standing there with a torch and clearly waiting for you. And from the snow swirling around his feet, it almost seems he might have been waiting here for days. Just calm and peaceful as you fly the airship towards the temple. And that is where we are going to call it for the day.
Woohoo!
Yay.
I know it was a shorter day, but I don't know why I slept so bad last night, but the holiday this weekend threw everything to chaos.
It does that.
It's a very natural ending. Like,
Cliffhanger.
it's really not.
We're on the
It
side
is
of
a
a
good
cliff.
ending to the episode.
That's what I was trying for. So I did want to ask: does anybody have any like questions or like comments on today?
Today
Okay,
felt
then.
like a shopping session. It was pretty good.
Yeah.
I like.
I mean,
Yeah.
there was
The
a lot of
story and
roleplay.
shopping.
Like I told you, we weren't going to be doing nothing but dungeon crawling forever. That was just to get people into the kind of swing of things, and now we're actually getting into the main storyline itself, which is going to be a lot more roleplaying until you get back into the adventure. I will mention a couple things to Nefer in private before I forget. Other than that, I think we're good for the day, and because not much really happened today, we're not going to do kudo points today. There wasn't much in the way of role-playing. There was only, like, exposition and shopping. So we're going to skip the whole kudo point thing that I usually do.
Roger that.
Okay.
It was fun.
but-
all.
Yep. So I hope y'all had a good day. If you like what you saw, make sure to like and subscribe on my YouTube channel where all of these episodes get uploaded. Follow Evie on Twitch. Follow me on Twitch. Follow on Twitter. And join us on Discord. Thank y'all for watching.
Bye.